I'm excited to film this video, bro, because I'm going to teach you how to become a measured and collected man. See, the tapestry of masculinity is huge. There's a lot of things that goes into being a man, right? You can't just excel in one area and think, oh yeah, I'm a man. Nah, there's so many things that goes into truly making us embody and live a life with our masculinity shining through us. And see, you don't hear about this often. Collected and measured. Usually when you think of masculinity, you think about being strong, able-bodied, being a man of honor, of virtue, being stoic. I'll tell you this, bro. I was never taught how to become a man. I never had a father growing up, and I never had any role models to really kind of navigate or show me the way of how to become a man. So, how can I come and teach you how to become a man when I was never taught myself? This little guy with his texter and his whiteboard, shirtless in his room. Because my life growing up, bro, wasn't easy. I struggled immensely growing up, and I've always been honest about my story. See, I grew up in what you would know as the ghetto. And if you know what the ghetto is, bro, it's a very bad, poor environment. And my father literally looked at my brothers, myself, and my mum one day and left. Now, I'll say this. My father wasn't a good man as it is. He was an alcoholic, an abusive man. He wasn't a good man. And when he left, he did leave his 3 kids and my mum to grow up in the ghetto. But it was probably better because, like I said, he wasn't a good man. But that didn't mean life was easy. We struggled so much when I was younger. And struggled in every area, right? Obviously, where we lived was dangerous. Where drugs and crime, that's just normal, right? Police and fights and all of that, bro, normal. Alongside, we didn't have any money growing up. Like, we literally didn't have money. We were the family given secondhand clothing. Like, all I wore growing up was like my brother's hand-me-downs, or like people would come with trash bags, like the charities, and drop it on our door. Some things would fit me, some things would be covered in shit, some things would be, or have tears in them. Okay. That was me, bro. We were so poor that we had to get food donations as well. And there were still some points at night, or some nights we didn't have dinner. Yeah, bro, that was my life for 20 years. And when you grow up in the ghetto, you'll understand that there's a different rhetoric or life that you take when you grow up in the ghetto. There is, bro. Like, it's not the ordinary life of, yep, go to school, go to uni, play in your soccer team, and do this or that. No. When you grow up poor, and there's so many other boys in your community growing up the same way, you tend to go and do what you see like the elders doing. And that's usually like the big brothers or like the older people in the community. And they're obviously not doing the greater stuff. They're drinking and doing drugs and getting into fights, or, getting all these situations popping off all the time. And that's what I did growing up. I started abusing drugs at the age of 16. 16 years old, bro. That's insane. And I used drugs for almost 4 years of my life. And I got to a point, right, where I was hanging out with the wrong people, doing the wrong things, needing drugs to function. To function, bro. Like, that was my life. And at the age of 20, I had a choice to make. I was either going to obviously not be around, because if you use drugs consistently, and the drugs I was using, it takes away everything from you, bro. Your soul, your personality, who you are. It takes away your mind, and it ruins you. You don't think about the consequences when you're using drugs, though, but eventually it just erodes you. And at the age of 20, that's where I was at. I made the conscious decision to climb out of the gutter. The sewage-infested life that I was living, I climbed out of it. It wasn't easy, because at this point of my life, I was still living in the ghetto. So you could imagine all my friends were part of the ghetto that I grew up in, and my whole life evolved around that. And it was a very, very hard journey. But for the last 5 years, I've been cultivating myself to become the young man that I am today. And I'm still not very close to who I want to be, but I want to pass my lessons on to you on what I have taught myself to become a masculine, measured, and collected young man. Because this isn't taught to us. There's a big amount of us young men growing up with our fathers or strong male role models, and I want to help you, bro, because I didn't have anyone to teach me. I had no one. Bro, you just heard my story. So, one of the key tenets of being a collected and measured man, and I truly believe this is the number one thing, which is why I put it first, is I want you to try guess what it is before I put it on the board, bro. Try guess, because think about what's the number one thing that we should kind of be as a man. And I'll give you a hint. It's not being strong or able-bodied. Okay? To be a man, I truly believe that you must aim to be composed. And I don't think that that's what came to your mind, is it, bro? But see, there's only a few things that we can control as humans, as young men, right? It's our actions, how we think, it's our energy about us. We control everything about us, and that's really it. And to some degree, we don't even control that much about us, right? We just control how we think and how we act and how we put ourselves out to the world, because we can't help if our heart stops beating. I mean, we can't prevent that. We can't prevent if we get sick or have some illness hit us. Nothing. This world we live in, especially for the average young man, has got harder and harder and harder. It's not an easy world that we live in. And there are so many things in our lives that cause us to feel stressed. I mean, if not majority of our lives is just feeling stressed right now, right? And it's not good. Stress is one of the number one, what would you call it, emotions that truly breaks us. We get too stressed and we break. And we go do nothing. Or we go numb ourselves with drugs or alcohol. Or we play video games. Or we just go do nothing. I want you to understand something as a man. How you hold yourself, your frame, your composure, not only tells the world, but intrinsically tells yourself that you are about being a man. See, in life, we are always going to be tested. We're going to be tested by our friends, tested by life situations. We're going to be put in situations that are sad, that make us feel broken. But the true trajectory of a man is to not numb yourself with the modern day technologies or drugs or alcohol. It's to keep your composure, keep your frame and not break. And this takes struggle to do this and to become resilient in it. But what I want you to understand is we have two options. And for 90% of young men, and like myself, bro, I did this for a very long time, is when something happens, we break. We chuck a hissy fit, we get angry at our parents, we say F this, like I don't want to do anything anymore. That's where our life just takes us. That's how we've been kind of programmed to be. But I want you to understand something. The more stressful situations that you're in, and you keep yourself intact, you keep yourself composed, you will build yourself up to be a strong man. And your composure will say everything about the future of your life. Because if you can handle stress, if you can handle pressure, and you start to say to yourself when you're in a situation that's uncomfortable, how do I get out of this? How do I figure this out? What's the best next move? And you don't chuck a hissy fit, and you don't start crying just in the middle of public. You will feel as though you're living accordance to yourself. See, to train your composure as a man isn't easy, right? Because you can't fake it. You have to go and struggle. Struggle is a part of being a man, but how you can start to really take on board and try to learn how to keep yourself composed. Anything that tests you, you keep your frame. I'm not saying that you don't feel things, bro. I'm not saying that you can't feel sad or hurt or you can't, I'm not saying you can't feel emotions. But you must keep your cool. Keep your frame. Don't break. And every time you do that, it's going to be like one level up in your masculine frame. Keeping your composure like I said, will dictate how successful you become. Because the more you want to change your life, the more you want to cultivate success, be a man of high caliber, the more life is going to test you. So your composure as a man is very important. The second thing is, try guess, bro. What do you think the second tenet of being a measured and collected man is? Try think, because I know you might not know, but you might know at the same time. It's to be emotionally regulated. Sorry about the writing, boys, but see, as men, our emotions dictate everything that we do. Well, for 90% of men, or 99%. This really does kind of tie back in to our first point of composure. But I want you to understand something. When you feel sad, what's your first thing to kind of go and do? It's to go play some video games, or go watch some YouTube, or go get some fast food, or go do anything else except for the thing that you're supposed to be doing. It is, right? But our life is always going to throw things our way. That's life. Life is just this constant attack of people, of feelings, of just everything. It's never easy. But you must understand that your emotions should never be able to get the better of you. And I don't mean in regards of you breaking and not keeping your composure, because like I said, you need to always keep your frame, but you should always be in control of your emotions and not letting it be able to dictate your emotions. Think about it. Like I said, you get upset, you go get that fast food, or you go do some drugs, or you go try and numb yourself with some alcohol. And what does that do? As men, when we numb ourselves with modern day degeneracies of drugs and alcohol, it takes us down. And what happens when you're always on this downward spiral? It will continuously give you that escape. Like, it will keep exposing you. Oh, okay, I'm feeling sad today. It's going to tell your brain, go watch some YouTube. I'm feeling sad today. Go do some drugs. I'm feeling sad today. Go watch some porn. I'm telling you, that's the habitual way that we are starting to frame our minds. When something's going wrong, or we are in a stressful or hurtful situation, or our emotions are spiking or going up, let's go distract ourselves. And what happens when you distract yourself? You waste the most precious asset that you have, which is your time. Right? It's your time. See, as young men, we don't have a lot of assets, right? You don't have property, you don't have stocks, you don't have a lot of whatever, bro, commodities. But what you do have is your time and your energy. And when you truly put that into just dumb things because you feel sad or upset, or you just want to numb yourself, you're going to cause this spiral of just being a bum. And it's going to be so powerful that trying to get out of it is going to take a lot more effort than you just staying a course and keep continuously doing what you're supposed to do. See, a part of being a man, a measured and collected man, is doing what you're supposed to do regardless of how you feel. Really understand what I just said, bro. Regardless of how you feel, you keep on going. Because like I said, we're going to have more bad days than good. Especially when you're a young man that's about it, trying to become successful, trying to cultivate success. Bro, life's hard. Life's hard, bro. Life's hard when you check your bank balance and you don't have enough money for this or that. Life's hard when girls don't look your way. Life's hard when your family's struggling. But what are you meant to do? You stay the course. You keep on doing what you're supposed to do. And this is huge. And this only comes through regulating how you feel and use how you feel, right? And this is the beauty of being a man. Use your emotions. Use your sadness, your anger, your frustration. Use your happiness to push you to do more and more and more. Momentum. Forward, forward, forward. Let's keep going, bro. Okay? So that's the second point. Control your emotions. Don't let your emotions control you and dictate what you do. The third point is self-control. And this is important, bro. For one thing. Self-control. What's the one thing that we have truly been stripped of? It's because of the modern world, bro. It's because of technology. It's because we're in a different world. We've been stripped of our attention. We've literally been stripped of just being with ourselves. We're never by ourselves anymore. You're watching this video, you're not by yourself. When you're not watching this video, you're texting your friend. When you're not texting your friend, you're out with your friend. We don't spend any time by ourselves anymore. Before you go to sleep, you're on your phone watching a movie. You gotta understand something, bro. Is that we have immediate impulses to continuously go and do something else rather than what we are supposed to do. And usually what we tend to do is just dumb, time-wasting things. And we're always going to have impulses. Impulses to eat that food, impulses to jack off, impulses to do nothing. Like, I honestly believe that our generation, right? Of course, we've been labeled the weakest, and I've always said that, but we have no self-control. We're young men that we just give up. Like, we give up because we can't tame our urges, our impulses of what we should be doing. Nah, let's go do what we know what we shouldn't be doing. That's how powerful and weak, that's how powerful these things have become and how weak we are. Porn is so much more stronger than your goals. Fast food is so much more stronger than your goals. Drugs and alcohol is so much more stronger than your goals. See, you must start to take accountability for what you do every single day. Understand that, bro. If you're not in control of what you do, well, your external forces of life, your friends, your technology, gadgets, whatever, that's going to control you. So you're not really living a life accordance of your own self. You're living a life of accordance of what these big tech companies want you to live and what your friends want you to do. So you're not even living for your life, your own self. When you're a man that can practice self-control and you stay the course and you do what you're supposed to do and you don't succumb to your impulses and your urges, you will align your life to become successful. Because you know the right thing to do, but you always attempt to go do the wrong thing. And like I said, the wrong things are so much more enticing than the good things. Because this will lead us to our fourth point, bro. And it's really important that you get this. All these points are just as important as one another. But understand, self-control. If you can't control your urges, the one thing that you can control as a man is what you do, what you say, everything about yourself. That's all you can control. Learn to control yourself. Because it's important. You set your life up for success if you can, or you set your life up for misery and failure if you can't. And that's the truth. So do what you're supposed to do. But like I said, this ties in, self-control will tie in to our fourth point, which is patience. Now I want you to understand something, bro. Patience is extremely important because I want you to understand something. We're living in a world where we want things completely quick. Right? We want things that are overnight, right? We do. If we're not successful or made $1 million in a week, let's give up. If you didn't see that progress overnight, it wasn't for me. My business venture, that's it. I'll go try something else, and you gave it a day. You gave it a week. You gave it a month. I want you to understand something about the nature of success. Now, like I said, and I've always said this in a lot of my videos, I can't teach you how to become a millionaire. I can't teach you a lot of things about your life, but I can teach you how to become a man that's measured and collected because, like I said, we as men, we want so many things overnight, but the trajectory of success isn't like this. Well, it is like that, but we have 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. And you know what happens at 5 months? I want you to understand this. What happens at 5 months' time? No progress. Or we have very little progress, right? That's success. is you work, and you see nothing. And you work, and you see a tiny bit of success. And you work, a little bit more success. And that takes months. That takes years. And that's what we don't have anymore as young men. I can come on here and tell you this. I have the best body I've ever had. I'm completely natural. And if I went to the gym and I quit after 2 workouts, I would never get this body. But I kept showing up day after day, like you probably have, bro. You go to the gym knowing that you need to put in the work now, but to get the results later. Well, to be a man that's measured and collected, you must understand that patience is extremely important. Now, speed and always moving on a forward trajectory, that's just as important. But to keep yourself calm and collected, you must always stay the course in regards of you work hard. You work extremely hard. You give it your all, bro, like your life depends on it, right? But you have the expectation in your mind that you're not going to see the fruits of your labor for a couple of months. Understand that, bro. It takes years to become an overnight success. Really let that sink in. I don't know if you really understood that. It takes years to become an overnight success. And I want you to understand something. Trusting the process is what you need to strive to aim for. Trust what you're doing. Trust that bench press. Trust the food that you're putting into your body. Trust that business idea, or trust your things that you're studying. Trust the process and be patient. Because like I said, that's the formula for success. With all the books that I've read, all the audio books I've listened to, or the podcast I've watched, whatever, bro, all the knowledge I've gathered, it always says that. Patience. If you can be a man that works hard, forward, but you are patient at the same time, well, you will truly have what you want. Because what tends to happen, right, is we always move our lives in this way, right? If you were to look at success, and we want to get here, right, and we're here right now, right, what do we start to do? As of here, right, what happens? We start to quit here. And let's say that's 6 months, or a year, or a couple of weeks, whatever, bro. But look, we were just about to cultivate this success, but we quit here. So be patient, trust the process, and understand that it's a part of the game. You as a man, if you cannot control if you are a very impatient man, it's going to lead you to always have a scrambled mind. You're never going to be centered in what you do because you're not seeing results. Trust the process, stay patient, stay collected, stay measured. Because if you want to be successful, bro, that is the formula. The last thing, bro, is, well, what happens when your girlfriend, she leaves you? When something happens within your family, life comes at you from all areas and you didn't ask for it. What do you need to do? And this is extremely important. Is you need to adapt. Adaptability is a key component of you keeping yourself cool. See, I want you to understand something, bro. Like I said, life will always come at you from different areas. And there's going to be things, if not they've already happened in your life, where you just need to adapt. You need to regulate your feelings. You need to be in control of what you do. You need to keep composed. You need to start thinking 2, 3, 4 moves ahead. You need to figure it out and you need to adapt. See, my whole life growing up, bro, I had to adapt. Bro, there were so many things going on inside my family. There were so many things external as well. And I'll say this to you, bro. When I was younger, I broke down a lot. Life was real hard, bro. And I was very sensitive and I wasn't the strong young man that I was. I've always told you I struggled immensely with my confidence and my self-esteem. I was troubled in a lot of ways before I became a drug addict with my own self. But as I got older and older, I adapted. And that could be because I went through so many things that I just had to navigate and I really had to try and figure things out myself. But it also centered me to be this young man that just, okay, boom, I'm adapting to this situation going. I'm adapting to this. This has happened. Okay, so now I have to do this. Like, my whole life, I just had to figure it out and I had to adapt to all the situations. And you must do this. See, we would tend to get complacent. We will tend to put things off for a while when things aren't the best it can be. And I want you to understand that's not how it's going to always be. Nothing is always going to be great forever. You're going to have to learn to adapt. Stay the course. See, I want you to understand that time you don't put in are results that you don't get. And the thing is, bro, compounded. If you take a couple of days off here because you got to try and things aren't as perfect as you need them to be to stay the course, or you got to take a month off here, you got to do this and that, that compounds. And you lose the momentum that you had when you continuously say things aren't right and I can't do what I'm supposed to do. Adapt. Stay the course. Do what you're supposed to do anyway. And this will slingshot you and skyrocket you and build this momentum and keep the momentum going for your life to be what you want it to be. See, as young men, we must always truly be thinking moves ahead. We must stay cool, collected, measured. We must stay in control of who we are, and we must stay the course. If you're a young man that can control his emotions, be precise with what you say, be thinking ahead, staying in control, you will win. And that's what I want for you, bro. I want you to truly win. This is what I've done to create and cultivate myself to become a measured and centered and collected man, bro. And this is a big thing because, like I said, you always hear about being strong and being stoic and being able-bodied, and I stand by that. But we spoke about something, bro, that will truly accelerate you alongside the other tenets of masculinity. Love you, bro.